We are preparing for the final assault on Emperor Jimpok and the forces he has marshalled to his defence around the Klingon capital planet of Qo'Nos. As a Federation liaison to this mission, our situation is a bit more tenuous than a Klingon character, but we have nevertheless become wrapped up in the affairs of the Empire, and its factions seeking to depose the increasingly tyrannical Jimpok. It has been a messy road of betrayal, oaths, and supernatural events that has led us here, and the results of this mission will fundamentally alter the makeup of the Alpha and Beta quadrants. Laurel contacts us at our position observing Qo'Nos to tell us she is ready.
Jimpok is trapped on Qo'Nos, guarded by the few warriors loyal to his cause. Our recent victories have weakened his position and brought many allies to our banner. There will not be a better time to strike. As Kalish once defeated the forces of the tyrant Molor, so shall we put an end to the reign of Jimpok. Join us in the Boreth system as we prepare for glorious and honorable battle.
So, we're ready to join the assembled fleet at Boreth. Houses Kang, Korath, Martok, and the defenders of the Kuvat colony have already rendezvoused there ahead of us, as well as several more allies who have made themselves known, such as Captain Gorn of the Khitomer Alliance, a formal representation that the Alliance has officially acknowledged Emperor Jimpok as a threat after we cleared our names. Alongside this, when we last left off, Adet Par mentioned she had found contacts among the Gorn and Orion Syndicates willing to oppose the Emperor's loyalist forces. It's quite the sizable fleet we've rallied, mostly thanks to Laurel's understanding of Klingon politics and her careful selection of allies. For our parts, we have secured the aid of the Alachi, who want an end to the mycelial weapon that keeps collapsing our realm into theirs and vice versa. On the opposing side, we have the houses loyal to Jimpok still, but a large mercenary fleet of Nausicaans, Lethians and others that he's strong-armed or paid into protecting him. Still, there are more Klingon houses out there that have just refrained from pledging to either side because they're disillusioned with Jimpok, Ja'ula, and Laurel is still somewhat of an unknown. We travel to Boreth and waste no time beaming aboard the Katinga, Laurel's flagship captained by Ja'ula. While Ja'ula paces impatiently, let's meet the rest of the assembled leaders. Captain Ukrar was the captain in charge of Kuvat's defences, while Captain Ilara here is one of the Orion Syndicate and one of Adet Par's called-in allies.
There is a human saying, necessity is the mother of invention. After all I have experienced in this war, I have come to realize the profound wisdom in those words. Necessity drove me to create defenses against the tricks of Akar. It has driven us to work with the Alachi on defenses against a weapon that once belonged to us.
Yeah, still not a fan of that.
It also led to the means to close mycelial rifts and restore the sanity of corrupted Elachi, to turn foes into friends.
And I'm certain that the Alachi will aid us in this upcoming battle.
I suppose necessity drove us to join the fight against Jimpok, although the chance to make a tidy profit was also a motivating factor. I suspect the Nausicaans, Lethians, and Ferasans felt the necessity of staying loyal to Jimpok. Too bad. They're about to learn they're backing the wrong side.
The powers she just listed, including the Orion Syndicate, were dominated by the Klingon Empire from the 2390s onwards and brought under their sway. Among them, the Orion Syndicate enjoyed the most freedoms, while the others were practically entirely folded into the KDF. Speaking of the Gorn, we have Captain Laksha talking with Captain Gorn and Laurel.
As we stand ready to attack Jimpok, I am reminded of another adversary, Kol of House Kor. Like Jimpok, he craved personal power, to be the single ruler of the Empire. For a time, it seemed that he would succeed, but in the end, his arrogance led to his undoing. Such will be the fate of Jimpok today.
She's referring to a battle that took place between the USS Discovery and Kol's seized ship.
I regret following the orders of such a dishonorable leader. Fortunately, There are others who stand ready to take his place and serve the Empire well. The future holds no place for Jempok and those like him. The only place for them is Grethor.
Oh, don't feel bad, Calgren. As I recall, I kind of crippled the Kittimer anyway, so just saying. No hard feelings on my end. But yeah, I don't think Jempok's going to step down willingly.
Jempok ordered the invasion of Gorn space and forced our king to bend the knee. Since then, we have been little more than puppets of the Empire and of Jempok. Today, we will fight for the Empire, not as pawns, but as equals. Today, the puppets will cut the strings!
King Slathis capitulated to Jempok's forces in 2402 when the Klingons successfully took the Gorn homeworld and exposed several key members of their government as Species 8472 infiltrators. The Gorn were then asked to bend their knee to the Empire as a vassal state, but clearly things did not improve for them after the treaties were signed. It has been 9 years and the hegemony still has a subservient role to the Empire despite initial signs of it being a more promising alliance. We move on to General Martok, who is regaling General Kanal of House Kang and Captain Banar of House Korath with tales of a young Ferengi ensign he met once upon a time.
And then he said, either move or I'm going to have to place you under arrest. Ah! A Ferengi Starfleet cadet telling 3 Klingon warriors to move. That boy had more courage than 10 of these Nokpu surrounding Jempok. Remember this. Courage comes in all sizes and shapes.
Yeah.
Dahar Master Kang knew this as well. When I was a child, he told me of his glorious adventures. He went into battle with brave and honorable warriors from many worlds. Humans, Trill, even Vulcans.
I do not care what planet they come from.
Ugh.
If they are here to knock Jempok from his throne, they are friends of mine. If we are victorious, I will drink with them and sing great songs of glory. And should we die, I will see them in Sto-vo-kor, and we will take our place among the honored dead.
The sentiment is appreciated, but I hope to avoid Sto-vo-kor for the time being. Also, Captain Banar appears to have had a disagreement with the lighting engine. After we have chatted with everyone, Jula comes out of her reverie and begins the briefing.
Warriors from many worlds, you stand ready to fight and restore the Empire. It is my honor to go into battle with you. Know this. Today, the forces of Jempok will know defeat!
You know what you must do. Face your enemy, show them your blade, fight well, in the name of Kahless, and for the glory of the Empire!
Remember what you fight for today. All of you, no matter what world you call home, know what it means to be Klingon. If that is in your heart, and the enemy takes your life, today will be a good day to die.
For my part, this has been a day long coming, and whatever happens, it will most definitely be remembered.
Well said. All hands, report to your stations. We depart for Qo'Nos soon. Dismissed! Before you return to your ship, I would speak to you.
Yeah, okay, very well. I do feel like we need to, clear the air or something. What is it you need?
A lot is riding on the Alachi, and their modifications to this vessel. Do they have your confidence? Your trust?
Her doubt is understandable, as the Alachi have installed a device upon the Katinga that will mess with Jempok's mycelial weapon. It is a key component of our plan, and if this backfires, Jula will perish. We reaffirm that Tarsef can be trusted. He will be in position. Don't worry.
Let us hope so. There is one other matter. A personal request.
Very well. I'm listening. Ask away.
You were at my side in Grethor. You know of the deal I made to secure L'Rell's freedom. I have asked those I trust to fulfill my oath should I fall in battle. I count you among their number. If I die before ending Akar and Jempok, will you do what must be done to send them both to Grethor?
Oh boy, you're asking a Federation Admiral to kill a Klingon Emperor and his right-hand man. I mean, if it's in self-defense, or there is no time for another solution. You know what? I'll do what must be done, of that you can be assured. Let's just hope you get to him first, so, Jeweler, don't die out there.
Very well. By your hand or mine, may Akar and Jempok stand before Feklar on this day.
Yeah. Alright. I'm beaming out.
The fleet is in position. Beam back to your ship when you are ready to proceed.
That is certainly a big ask. I would most definitely like to take Akar into custody for his actions. Jempok is a little beyond my jurisdiction, however, and technically this is all an internal Klingon matter. But I think we both know that neither will surrender. What happens today is going to happen. Let's just hope I don't deal with any repercussions. In orbit of Boreth, we have a rather small fleet awaiting us, with the Katinga, Armiger, Rotaran, Kor, and Kitama making up the lead ships of the Force.
The fleet is in position, just outside the range of enemy sensors. When the word is given, we'll go to maximum warp and travel to the assigned coordinates. Move your vessel into position when you are ready.
We have several vessels of Gorn design Vishap frigates, as well as a small detachment of Orion ships. Alongside our allies, the Klingon house of Noggra has supplied some Raptors. No surprise really, as this is the house that took in Kern, Worf's brother, and a strong ally of Martok. Speaking of whom, House Martok is here in force, several Vorchar cruisers and more Raptors. Houses Korath and Kang have also supplied further ships to bolster our ranks, but overall we still number around 25 vessels. But this is all a part of the plan. We are counting on the element of surprise and our Elachi friends to turn the tide.
The time draws near. If you are prepared for battle, I will give the order to begin the invasion of Qo'Nos.
We're ready. All hands, prepare for combat.
For honor, for glory, for the Empire! All ships have reported in. We are holding position outside the Praxis debris field. Loyalist forces are moving into defensive positions, as expected.
Remember, don't underestimate Jempok. He is a shrewd tactician.
The last time I saw Praxis, it was the first night of a full moon. Like the Empire, I thought it would last forever. And yet now, the Empire is shattered, like the moon above our homeworld.
Praxis's fall in 2293 led to the establishing of the Khitomer Accords, when Chancellor Gorn realised the damage it would do to Qo'Nos, and he couldn't risk further war with Federation. This is all very poetic, but unlike a moon, an empire can be rebuilt.
Indeed. It is our duty, and we will not fail. Attention all hands! The time has come. Begin the assault. For the Empire!
Red alert. Forward shields. Take us in.
Yes, this is more like it. Helm, get us into knife fighting range. Tactical, full power to disruptors.
The incoming hostiles are Lethians, Nausicaans, and Verasans.
Of course! The coward sends his pawns into battle while he cowers under cover. Ha!
It seems Jempok's throwing out the non-Klingon citizens to engage us first. These fleets are still being paid to be here, despite their status within the Empire.
Lady Ja'ula, my thanks for bringing your fleet into range.
Well, are you going to chew ligament all day? Shut up and fight!
Wait your turn, woman. Gunner, you may fire the weapon at will.
The Christok is ready to fire, but it isn't targeting the Katinga.
What? All ships, take evasive action!
Damn it, we were counting on the mycelial weapon being brought to bear, but the Katinga was supposed to be the primary target. We were hoping that Jimpok would be eager to hit the ship with both L'Rell and Ja'ula on it in one blow. Instead, he's targeting other vessels, which is not good. We don't have the numbers to spare, and the longer it takes for him to target the Katinga, the worse it's going to be for us. On the plus side, at least he's revealed himself on his flagship, the IKS Cryptic, and he's decloaked along with his loyalist forces.
I will tear your pathetic fleet apart, Ja'ula! Ship by ship, one by one.
He continues to target other vessels, and a rift opens up over a House Kang battlecruiser.
If Jimpok will not willingly fire upon us, then we must trick him into doing so.
As we break apart two more enemy cruisers, Jimpok turns his weapon on the Armiger.
You've been targeted by the Cryptic. Rendezvous with the Katinga and draw Jimpok's fire to me!
Well, that might do it. Once the rift opens, it will hopefully catch the Katinga in the blast radius, and that is all we'll need. We transfer more power to impulse drives and make a run for our coordinating vessel.
All hands, prepare to be targeted by the mycelial weapon. Brace for impact!
I told you not to fire at Ja'ula! Was she destroyed?
I cannot tell. Too much interference on sensors.
It worked. Tarsev's device worked.
Once more onto the bridge, dear friends.
Ha! I said the Alachi would be ready.
The liberated Alachi are here to fight at your side, as we promised.
Glory to you, Tarsev, and to your people. Kapla!
Fighting alongside Alachi. Your dishonor knows no bounds, traitor.
I believe you touched the nerve, my lady. The Cryptic is decloaking for battle.
Destroy every vessel between us and the Katinga, but leave her intact.
All vessels, fire to disable the Cryptic. They will not have a warrior's death.
And there is the rest of our fleet. Almost the entire Alachi Armada, once thralls to the Iconians, now working as our allies. That rebalances the battle, and now we are on an even playing field. We target the behemoth Dreadnought, which is the Voyager world carrier. This ship is known for not only its intense firepower, but an overpowered structural integrity field that makes it very difficult to break. Literally. It also acts as a powerful and smart hub for communications, and can coordinate a large amount of fighter ships housed in its own two massive hangars.
Breathing fluctuations in shields and impulse systems on the Cryptic. Their weapons are still online, however. The Cryptic is taking damage, but they are still in the fight. Keep up the pressure! Breathing massive system failures on the Cryptic, and their main drive is leaking plasma. They are disabled.
Well, our plan went off almost without a hitch. With the Cryptic disabled, we might be able to take Jimpok alive, which has the added bonus of humiliating him with dishonor, although I don't think he'll give up entirely. Jimpok's tactic to lure us in with his mercenary army was cold, and then ambush us from cloak was sound. It would have worked, but he couldn't have counted on his weapon being used to bring in our reinforcements. To his credit, his plan would have worked if we didn't have the Alachi.
To all warriors aboard the Cryptic, this is Matriarch Ja'ula. You are beaten. Stand down and prepare to be boarded. Surrender the tyrant Jimpock to me, and you will be shown leniency. Defend him, and you will know death.
Jeweler, thank you for trying to end this now, but you don't think he's really going to surrender, do you?
There will be no victory for you today, traitors. If I cannot have Qo'Nos, no one will. I will detonate the very weapon that L'Rell used to become Chancellor. The homeworld will become the grave of the Klingon Empire. Test me at your peril.
L'Rell? What weapon is he talking about? Is he talking about that, the Starfleet one back from the 23rd century?
It is called a hydrobomb. A terrorist placed it in the planet's core during the war with the Federation. Some allies acquired the detonator and gave it to me. It allowed me to give the High Council a choice. Accept my leadership, end the war, or face the destruction of Qo'Nos.
Right. Okay, I'm just going to say it. It wasn't cool when you did it, and it's not cool when Jimpock's doing it now. And yes, you are calling her a terrorist, but that's very nice of you because she actually had Starfleet authorization to do that. Yeah, that era was messed up.
He has beamed to the Great Hall and raised defensive shields. He means to dig in, wait for reinforcements, and force us to quit the field. If we push too hard, call his bluff.
Then we force him into a corner and he might actually destroy his own people just to spite us. Damn it. We need other options, fast.
I have known Jimpock longer than any of you. I have faced him in battle. I know his heart. Go to him and issue a formal challenge. His pride, his arrogance will not allow him to refuse you.
A duel to the death for leadership of the Empire. It would have to be a Klingon.
Sometimes the old ways are best. Face the filthy Patak, Ja'ula, and bury your blade in his heart.
It might be the only way. It lets him save a bit of face, and if nothing else, it'll buy time.
Whatever you plan to do, I recommend haste. The IKS Targ is approaching with a fleet at high warp.
The IKS Targ? A car.
Very well. Adetpa, I want you and Cochrane to lead our forces here against Akar and his fleet. I will lead a team to First City and seek to challenge Jimpock there. As former chancellors, I would like L'Rell and Martok at my side to bear witness to our honorable victory.
Then I'm going down too. I think I can be of assistance down there. Hopefully end this quickly.
If that is your wish, I will not deny you. We will transport as close as we can to the Great Hall and begin the final assault from there. Kapla!
We close into the planet, at the centre of a broken empire, where a madman sits on his splintered throne, threatening all with indiscriminate destruction. That the Civil War has come to this shows where Jimpock's true loyalties lie. Absolute power corrupts. So, I'll see you for the next part as we conclude this Klingon Civil War arc with the battle for Qo'Nos groundside. I've been Rick. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Good play, hopefully.